What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Powered by Primus, and in today's video I'm going to be covering some more Wave 5 spoilers, as well as some new mechanics that we did just have dropped on us yesterday, which is going to be really fun and really exciting. There's also been a lot of conversation back and forth about it, so I'm going to try to clear that up for you guys as best as possible in this video as well. Now, the first thing we're going to be talking about here is the launch event. There's going to be some really fun, cool cards that are going to be in that package. So we're going to talk about those first. We're also going to be diving into some new battle cards and even some new battle icons. So we're going to have quite a bit to talk about in this video. So buckle up and let's get into it. Now, the first thing that we are going to talk about when it comes to the release weekend is going to be this release promo that we're going to be getting, and that is going to be Tidal Wave. Now, this is going to be a 3-part combiner, and his effect is so amazing. I am super excited to get into it. So let's talk about, first off, the little Tidal Wave, which are all three going to be boats. So hey, maybe we're going to really keep trying to push that boat support. We'll see what we can get. So the first character we're going to be talking about here is going to be Tidal Wave Dark Fleet. Now, he's going to be coming in with 1 attack, 6 health, and 2 defense. And it says this starts the game with a plane or a helicopter that has 4 or fewer stars under it. I know, really interesting, right? It says when this attack combines or is KO'd, then you get to deploy the character from under this onto the battlefield in alt mode. If this is attacking, you get an extra attack this turn, but only with the deployed character. So essentially, if this character goes to attack, which then causes something to happen, this character is going to be KO'd. Whatever the case is, this is going to allow you to then deploy that character and then to be able to attack with that character as well after the fact. I did get that first name wrong. They are all going to be named Dark Fleet, but obviously do different stuff. The second one coming in here is going to be Tidal Wave, and this is going to be the transport, having 0 attack, 5 health, and 3 armor, which is actually a really nice armor stat to have in on a character. It does say that this starts the game with a car, truck, or tank under it that has 4 or fewer stars. And then when this attacks, combines, or is KO'd, you get to deploy the character from under this to the battlefield in alt mode. If this is attacking, you get 1 additional attack this turn, but only with the deployed character. Now, I bet you guys are starting to see a really cool thing here, that we're going to be able to get an insane amount of attacks with a bunch of little characters all in one turn, which is going to be really fun. Now, the next one coming in here is going to be the Battleship. Now, he is going to have 4 attack, 10 health, and 1 defense. So obviously the biggest one of the group here. It also does have stealth, meaning that your opponent is not going to be able to attack this thing whenever he is untapped, or if all of your characters are tapped, even 2 characters are tapped, they're not going to be able to attack into this Tidal Wave. And then this one says when your second character is KO'd this game and you had Tidal Wave Dark Fleet Aircraft Commander and Tidal Wave Dark Fleet Transport on your starting team, you get to combine them into Tidal Wave Dark Fleet. Now, the really cool thing that means is that it just says that if 2 of your characters have been KO'd and you obviously started with the trio, you get to combine. Now, you did notice those other 2 little characters here. It did say that when they attack, you get to deploy a little character from underneath them, and then so if those 2 characters get KO'd for whatever reason, then boom, you're automatically combining, especially with those little characters that do come out from the transport and from the carrier ship. They do not count as health towards your Tidal Wave, so those are the main characters that you're going to want to have KO'd, so when you do combine, you're going to be able to have a lot of health with Tidal Wave. Now, the other really cool part about these characters is that you have 2 specialists and you do have 1 range, so you're going to be able to do a lot of really cool funs with those specialist sides of things, being able to try to move around a bunch of upgrades, even possibly go in some field communicator plays. I don't really know. It's going to be pretty interesting. The other part is that we're going to have range, so we can still kind of follow that same range package if you want to go with the armed hovercrafts, marksmanships, etc. And then the really awesome thing that I did happen to find when it did come to talking about a lot of these Tidal Wave characters is all-out attack. Now, all-out attack essentially makes all of your characters, or allows all of your characters to be able to swing. So if you do look at the characters and the way that they are put together, is you can sit there and attack with the transport ship, and then you get to deploy the little character under it, and then you get to attack with the aircraft character, and then you get to deploy the little character who then gets to attack, and then you can have your battleship attack. Now, granted, you are swinging with all 5 of your little characters, and then you do get to have your opponent just mercilessly beat you up, so that may not be the fun play to do. However, your battleship would be protected because you do have stealth, so hey, you know, that does kind of force them into the other characters, and maybe you can get the combine with the reset, but I thought it was a little fun thing. I would not suggest it. Now, it does come to talking about Tidal Wave himself. We do have 7 attack, 21 health, and 2 armor, which is really awesome, but the thing that makes this character so fantastic is the text on him that says when this is combined, you get to tap an enemy. Now, this is actually really, really important. I think that it is a very powerful skill. Anytime that you have the ability to tap an enemy down, it is really good. However, all of the cards that we've seen that really allow you to tap your opponent down have big requirements. Either you have to use Tackle, which requires you to have a melee character and have the same or equal stars, or less stars, or you have to use even a card I'm going to be showing you guys today called Headbutt, and that only lets you do a character that is 10 star or fewer. And then you have Scrapnel, who does 13 stars or fewer. So there are some certain restrictions. However, this character has no restrictions. When you get to combine, you get to tap that enemy down, whether that's a Galactic Prime, a Major Shockwave, even something as big as another combiner, although I would imagine you're going to have your combiner way before they will. It is going to be really interesting what kind of damage that this can actually do. So one thing I really do love about it is the fact that you get to be able to use a combiner to a true benefit here, with you being able to have your little characters get KO'd, whether your opponent is trying to use their big character because they know they're going to get tapped down, or even just using some of their little characters. It's going to be really nice for you to be able to take that swing advantage when it does come to bringing this big boy out and being able to feast on hopefully whoever he does want, because again, we are going to be a pretty wide team here, so most likely that when you do combine, you are going to be combining with the last character, so hopefully you should be able to attack anyone that you want to go into. That's one thing that we might even consider, is using cards that damage our own characters to try to help get them off the table, such as One Shall Stand, the Static Laser of Ironhide, a couple other things. Reckless Charge might be some ones to help our characters get KO'd so we can get to the combiner even faster. And the next character coming in that we're going to be getting on release weekend is going to be another Titan Master, which is going to be Arcana or Arcana, however you do want to pronounce it. This is going to be a melee character, starts in bot mode, does have 4 attack, 2 health, and 2 armor, and says it cannot flip. Now, if you guys do not know about these Titan Masters, I will put a link to the original video where I do talk about these Titan Masters, go into detail about explaining them, so you guys can head over there and watch that. Now, while this is in the head mode, we are going to be getting 2 armor on our character at all times, which is actually really awesome. Does come in at 4 stars, and then does say that this begins in head mode and on the alt mode of a character. And then obviously when this head mode or that character is taken down, then you get to transform it into the bot mode, which is going to allow this last little character, hopefully the last little push for you to be able to take it down. But that +2 armor is going to be really nice. Now, this is one card I see getting a lot of play because that +2 armor is actually very relevant. Not to mention that this card is going to be harder to get because it is a release weekend card, so you're going to be seeing it just naturally because people just want to play with those exclusive cards. But again, that +2 defense is going to be really nice, and it's going to come down to a lot of games where that 2 extra defense is going to be really relevant. Alrighty, now we're going to be talking about the new battle icons coming in with Wave 5. Now, this is not a new battle icon color, so don't go crazy. One of the things that Wizards did say is that they're not going to be releasing a new color this wave, and they were right. They're not releasing a new color this wave for battle icons. However, they're combining battle icons with character specifics. Now, the one thing that I'm going to be talking about with this is trying to detail as best as possible some of those things. Now, this is going to be lock on target. Now, if you guys do see in the top right of the card, there is a blue battle icon and then a plain icon on it as well. Now, it does have special things with it, and it is also written on the card, so if this does help you guys out better. What happens is this card will act as a blue battle icon with everything that matters. So if you ever, like if your opponent goes to play a jam signals, it will go ahead and stop this card. If you flip over a card that says you need to flip a blue battle icon, boom, this will always trigger and does always count as a blue battle icon card. The one difference here is that this card will not count as a blue battle icon as far as on defense for a character if that character is not a plane. So if you happen to attack into your opponent's truck and then they flip over this card, they do not get the +1 defense because it is not on a truck. It's obviously on a plane. The other thing about it is if you happen to attack a plane, except it's in bot mode, so they lose the plane, then they are only going to count this as a blank pip as well. It will not count towards a blue battle icon. Now, these were released in an article with Ken Nagel. I'm going to be linking that in the description box below. I highly recommend that you guys do go check it out. It does give a little more in-depth as far as about some of those things, talk about the design and some other stuff like that. I do not want to spoil that because I do think that is a really cool thing that they do is that is going to be make these articles so we can kind of get a better insight as to what the thought process was. And I don't really want to spoil that, so I recommend that you guys definitely go and check it out. Now, the one thing that they do talk about with these cards, and I guess I should really just talk about this before, is that they have soft and they have hard trait stamped battle icon cards. What this is going to mean is that essentially there are going to be some that you're going to find in the common and uncommon slot that are designed to help pretty much everybody, any character, a lot like this lock on target you guys are going to see. And then there are those hard trait stamped ones are going to be usually more rare, and they are going to be very specific, whether it's towards a certain faction or towards a certain character specifically. You're going to be able to see those things. The thing that this does is open up a lot of design space, and it lets them do some really cool things as far as making cards a little more customizable. We're starting to see that with Star Gems. It allows things that are really, really fun, and it can really open the door even again for double or triple pips. One of the things that I don't think we're going to be seeing anymore is double blue battle icons or double orange battle icons that do not have a star count. And this is actually one thing that does allow them to be able to reintroduce those cards without having a star count. One thing that we found is that those double battle icon cards are really powerful with Security Checkpoint, Handheld Blaster, Piece Through Tyranny, and Provide Shield because they don't have a star requirement. You're able to jam these things into your decks to really be able to maximize these battle icons. However, now with this ability, they can go back to double blues and double oranges, but maybe they put it on a tank, so now that tank has to attack to be able to get the double oranges, or if it defends, well, now you're not going to get those double blues because you're in the wrong mode. It adds some really interesting design mechanics, and they did say that it does open the door for potentially hundreds of them, although they did keep them obviously to a minimal amount when it does come to this set, so they didn't flood it. Now, the last part about this lock on target is it does say one of your characters gets bold 4 until end of turn. Now, this does not have to be put onto a plane. This can be put onto any character who does indeed fact get bold 4. Now, that is what we were talking about there for a second about the soft mechanic with it. That soft trait stamped is that it allows it to be put onto any character. It does not have a very specific requirement or a high thing for it to be used on. Now, the next card we're going to be talking about here is Headbutt. Now, this is one thing that I think is really cool, and I'm actually really excited that they were able to do this with just even starting this wave. They really went all in with this new battle icon. Now, this is going to be for Titan Masters. Now, it does say that you get to tap one of your characters in body mode, and then you get to tap an enemy that has 10 stars or fewer, and it is in bot mode or body mode. So essentially you're allowed to pretty much tap down anything that you're going to be able to. Obviously you're not going to be able to hit those combiners because they do not count as bot mode or as body mode, so you have to make sure you do specifically look at that on the character card as far as what it does say. Now, this is going to be a double black battle icon card. Again, just like the previous card, it is always going to count as a black battle icon card. However, you are not going to be able to get the Pierce 2 unless you are attacking with a Titan Master. If you attack with a non-Titan Master, this will not be giving you the Pierce 2. It will act as only a blank battle icon card. Now, this is a really fun card. Like I said, we just talked about it a little bit with Tidal Wave as far as being able to tap down enemies. I think this is going to be fun for a lot of situations. I think it is also going to be very specific for very specific situations. I think that this card may see some play in very specific decks only because being able to tap down 10 stars or fewer is a very specific number. Sometimes, you have an 11 star on your opponent's side and then you're really not able to do anything with it. The card becomes kind of dead. However, it does still act as a double black battle icon, which again is why I love the design of these cards, because you can still get access to that Pierce 2 even if you can't use the card's effect. And then the next one coming in is going to be Holedown. Now, this is going to be an orange battle icon when attacking with a tank. You're going to be able to also get that orange battle icon. It will always act as an orange battle icon, so if there are any cards specifically asking for orange battle icons, it will still fit the bill. And then it is a secret action. Oh, I love me some secret actions, and I love me this card. It does say reveal when one of your characters defends. Now, it does not have to be when one of your tank defends. It just has to say when one of your characters defends. It does say when revealed, the defender gets tough 4 until the end of the battle. This is super, 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 super awesome. Now, I already think that tanks are starting to get an insane amount of support. Lord Megatron was a really big piece when it did come into that. It did make that deck really, powerful to be able to get that character. I think we're going to see more stuff in this wave. I also do think that is bludgeon on the card art there, but I can't obviously guarantee anything, although I think I'm right. It does look really, really good, and being able to get tough 4 is really nice. Now, the one thing that they've always done in this game as far as balance is try to put opposite pips on opposite effects. So you can see that a lot with like Leap into Battle is a blue battle icon card, but it gives you +3. Even when looking at handheld blaster and improvised shield, they do the opposite things, right? So improvised shield is double orange, but it gives you tough. So it does do a little bit of that back and forth, whereas this is an orange battle icon card, which normally you'd want to see on attack. However, it gives you tough 4. Now you want to see those blues. So it's going to be really, really awesome stuff. And even with this card being what it is and the tank list that I already created, as I think I'm going to be putting this thing in the tank list that we already have, and I might even be considered inverted in the list. Now, it might be really nice to be able to get in there and to be able to invert a character. So now even this all orange deck on those defensive things, you're starting to see all those oranges now become blue battle icon cards. So it might be really fun, but also even in a blue heavy tank list, this card is still worth it. If you're attacking and you get an orange versus getting a blank, I don't think it really matters anyway, because you're already kind of pushing very minimal damage in a heavier blue list. So that really won't affect anything. And then being able to boom, get tough 4 on defense, and it's on a secret action which your opponent can still not respond to, is really, really cool. I'm also really kind of pondering doing a brainstorm, getting hidden fortification in this card down and just getting tough 7, because I think that's amazing. Now, I know these new battle icons can be a little confusing, and maybe you still have a few questions that I did not answer. Then make sure you guys head down to the comment section below, and I will try to do my best to answer some of those questions. I think these things are absolutely amazing, and with all the talk about it, the WotC team did do a post about it, giving a little bit of an explanation to it, and it did say, "It is vital to the game's balance and the health of the meta for players to have meaningful choices and not just a small list of overpowered cards which everyone plays." Now, I think that this is a very, very well written comment. I think it is very, very specific, and it answers a lot of questions. They want people to be able to have differences when it comes to putting cards together, making cards work better in one list that are not necessarily good in another list, rather than everyone playing the exact same good cards. Whereas like Grenade Launcher and Supercharge, now these cards are always going to be really powerful, and it's because they are just really good basic cards, so everyone can use them. These cards are going to allow for a little bit more design to make some of these more powerful than those other cards, but have a little bit of restriction, so you do have to kind of meet said restrictions. That's why Tough 4 is probably one of the best things that we've seen yet, is that Tough 4 hasn't happened, even with a hidden fortification. The card is really good. It's a blue battle icon, right? So that's something you naturally want. It's Tough 3, right? Well, that's really good. Tough 4 is actually better, obviously. It's one more card that you get to flip on defense, and how many times has it been where you needed to flip that one additional card? So it can be really nice to be able to get that, and this card does allow you to be able to still get that Tough 4, and then if you're playing it in a tank deck, well then boom, the card gets even better because you get that extra orange battle icon. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see what other cards do come out with this kind of new pip. I'm really, really excited. Alrighty, so that's all I have for you guys for today as far as talking about Wave 5 spoilers. Now, I am going to not be doing these spoilers every single time a card gets posted. That's not how I do things. I will probably do them maybe like once a week and try to cover, 5 or 6 cards. Hope that you guys did enjoy this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.